Hi ladies and gents, Pond here with another video for Rise of Empires, Ice and Fire. Thank you so much for all your previous likes, comments and subscriptions to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, why not click on that button and ring the bell so you can get notifications of whenever I'm dropping content on the channel. And now onto the topic of this video, and it's my first full season hero guide for the SX12 heroes, and today we are looking at El Cid. So El Cid is the cavalry hero from SX12. He's a melee hero. You're going to want to put him on the front row. I kind of covered his skills in my first look video, and in the past 4 or 5 days I have actually tested him extensively in game, both in heroes duels, battlefield of honor, tile exchanges for KE, and then plenty of testing in Eden as well on tiles and actual castle sieging as well. So I've got the kind of full spectrum of testing for him, and I'm pretty confident of kind of the results that I've got. For me, El Cid is kind of like a Lawman 2.0, and the reason I say that is he's definitely got to be a front row hero like Lawman is in 99% of the situations that she'd be in. He's going to do a reasonable amount of damage like Lawman does. He's got pretty consistent healing like Lawman does. His 6th skill improves combat speed like Lawman does. And he also has several elements of kind of damage buff, debuff in his skills. Again, like Lawman does. Now, when I was kind of looking at this first, I have to say, when I was looking at first look earlier in the week, and I saw the kind of damage percentages available on his skill 2 and skill 5, I was thinking actually El Cid was going to be potentially one of the best heroes out there in a lot of different scenarios, but it hasn't really worked out like that, and I will kind of show you more in detail during a battle video in a minute why that is currently. It looks like, to me anyway, that the devs have like massively debuffed his 2nd and 5th skill, the damage that it's doing, because it's just not having the effect on the opponent that I would expect it to have for such a high value. Like, it's 500% damage. That's a high damage dealer for a skill. So let's crack on. So with his quick review of his skills again. So skill 1, Dictator, gives the extra 23,100 marching capacity for the heroes in the squad. Skill 2, Sword of Faith, is a combat skill, effective range of 3, and it targets 1 random enemy squad. 80% chance, a very high chance it's going to activate 6 or 7 times in a battle, and to be honest, quite often that's what I've seen from the testing that I've done. And it's going to deal 500% damage to 1 random enemy squad. So in theory you're looking at like 3,500 damage from a battle, and then 100% of the damage will be used to restore the power of 2 random squads of your side. So for instance, say if he attacks the front row of your opponent and kills 2,500 troops, then 2 of the squads in your legion will heal 2,500 troops each. So it creates a big swing in the number of troops in the battle. And when I looked at this thinking, oh, 500% damage, that could do, you know, 8,000–9,000 damage maybe for an opponent, then you were looking at potentially huge amounts of healing, but it just hasn't quite worked out like that. Skills 3 and 4, usual defensive formation and offensive formation, given the extra 50% resistance and might to the squad. And then skill 5 is Trial of Light. It's a combat skill again, so El Cid is susceptible to being suppressed and silenced by CC heroes. Of course, a lot of the top combos we're seeing at the moment don't actually have CC heroes in, so it's not such an issue. Effective range of 3, targets 2 random enemy squads. Now this is a skill that requires 1 round of prep, so if it triggers in round 3, then it will actually action in round 4. And so like there's kind of double the chance for it to be silenced, and if for any reason you had Desert Storm in the opponent had Desert Storm in their legion, then they could actually stop this skill, because that's what Desert Storm's 8th skill does. Highly unlikely, I know. 45% chance, now that's pretty good. You're looking at 3 to 4 times activating in a battle, and it's to deal 500% damage to 2 random enemy squads. So 1,000% damage each time this is activating. That is pretty huge. and within the valid range, and increase the skill damage against those targets by 30% for 2 rounds. So really nice double element to that ability there. And then onto his 6th skill, Cavalry Awaken, as I already touched on, he's giving 100 cavalry combat speed. And the reason, I think there is a reason for this that I'm going to talk about in looking at skill 8. Of course, with all this damage that he's doing, I think maybe it would have been more effective actually to give him extra damage on that 6th skill, because when you get to 7th skill, he's doing 40% extra might, which is going to help with that damage dealing. So we get onto skill 8, Song of El Cid. It's a prep skill, effective range of 3, and it targets 2 random friendly squads within the effective range. 70% chance, so very high percent chance again, each round for 2 random squads of your side to have 15% more chance to cast skills that need prep. So these are these combat skills that require a round, or in the case of Jade Eagle's 8th skill, 2 rounds of prep. So 15% boost, it's similar to what we see from Warden, that is boosting the chance for a skill to action. But of course with Warden, that Warden skill only targets just the 5th skill. El Cid's will target any skill that requires prep. And then it's going to apply a shield to the squad, making the damage taken by the squad minus 35% for the subsequent 2 times, lasting 1 round. So the fact that they've used 2 times makes me think that it's just the next 2 hits, basically the next 2 times that squad takes damage. So minus 35%, when you combine it with the additional 30% that the opponent is taking in damage, that's quite a big buff debuff swing from El Cid when you consider it's 2 targets both times. So you're actually looking at 130% swing in damage in total from those 2 skills, which is pretty significant. The reason I think that he's going to have higher combat speed on his 6th skill is so that he goes first in that round for your Legion, because then once this cast, then this extra 15% has an effect on the skills that need prep. That's my kind of thinking behind it. And obviously being a front row hero, you probably want him to go first anyway. So that is El Cid's skills. This 8th skill does kind of impact on who you want to pair him with. The devs did say in their suggestions that you should put El Cid front row, Hellfire middle row, and then Avalanche back row. Why are you going to want to pair Avalanche with Hellfire and El Cid? Well, that's Hellfire obviously does all the different healing and increase in damage, etc. And then for Avalanche, she has this 5th skill, Hack and Slash, which does require prep, and it's at 40% chance initially. But if you're increasing that to 55% chance, Hack and Slash actioning 4 or 5 times in a battle is going to make a significant impact and increase the kill rate from Avalanche quite significantly. I will show you a battle video in just a second showing that kind of best case scenario. And when you think Avalanche has an extra 10% increased damage on her 6th skill and an extra 30% on her 8th skill guaranteed, plus this extra might, she can do a significant amount of damage if Hack and Slash is activating. Other heroes that do have prep skills, common heroes that you'd expect, well, I mean, I've been having a play around. Obviously Jade Eagle does have 1 turn of prep on his 5th skill, but it's only upgrading it from 30% to 45%. And then this Jade Eagle, which requires 2 turns of prep, it's going to increase it to a 75% chance, but you're still probably only going to see this action, what, 2 times, 3 times in a battle, best case scenario, because even if it's triggered on turn 7 or 8, it won't action during the battle, because the battle will finish after 8 rounds. So I'm not sure. Some people might think that El Cid could work with Jade Eagle, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Other heroes that have skills, prominent heroes that have skills that require prep, well, we have Scarlet Reaver. I'm pretty sure, yep, her 5th skill is 1 turn preparation combat skill, so that's going to increase that to 55%. It's dealing a lot of damage, 750%, plus you've got this chance to disarm silence debuff as well on that, which is nice. And of course, good old Bleeding Steed, still going strong, S3 Bleeding Steed, who has one of the best steel confusion skills in the game, that requires 1 turn of prep. You're going to increase that to a 65% chance. I have done a little bit of testing with El Cid, where I did El Cid with Bleeding Steed and with Scarlet Reaver, and it didn't work great. I'm wondering if actually if you wanted to use Hellfire in a different legion, could you do El Cid, Bleeding Steed, Avalanche? Maybe. It's an option. I haven't done too much testing with that. So let's go and have a look at a battle video, as I always do. To be honest with you, El Cid is pretty inconsistent. For every time, in terms of just the amount of damage that he's going to trigger on that other hero, because you're still relying on this 15% boost to trigger the other hero's prep skill, right? And also his own prep skill, his 5th skill requires prep as well. So some of these battle reports, I have to say, I think the least I've seen him action in terms of skills is 12 skills, and the most I've seen is 19 skills. So you're going to see him actioning those 2nd and 8th skills a lot, because they're at 80% and 70%. They will trigger, you know, around 6 times each in a battle, and sometimes it's, you know, 7 or 8 times. The best case scenario for an El Cid combo is that he is triggering his fellow heroes' top damage dealing skills, or most effective skills, and we see that in this battle report, where you see Avalanche has done 13 skills and has maxed at 184,000 kills, which is absolutely huge, but that is not the standard by any means. And you can see as well, El Cid action 18 skills, but only 35,000 skill kills, and this is where, for me, he's not 5-star OP. So if we get into the battle video, as I say, a lot more times I've seen him actioning maybe 13, 14 skills and only like 25, 35,000 kills. So hopefully this battle video is going to work. Here we go. So we're just in the prep round here, round 0. And now we get into round 1. So Lawman does have that extra 120 speed. So there you go, Song of El Cid and Sword of Faith actioning already. And you can see that he's only done 4,000 damage from that skill 2, and he healed himself, and Avalanche didn't need any healing. That's why there was 0 healing on there. But it would have done 4,200 times 2, so 8,400 healing's pretty good. If you think if you were getting that kind of level of healing throughout the battle, you're talking about what, 65,000 healing. That's pretty top level healing. But as we're going to see, let's just speed up a little bit. Of course, we've got to wait for the dragons. They really slow down the battle footage. Come on, dragons. Here we go. Lawman with the healing. Song of El Cid and Sword of Faith again. So there we go. You see the 2,264 damage to that front row, and he heals his front row, and then the Hellfire row 2,264. Like I said, it replicates it. And what we also want to be looking at is is Avalanche on our side. How many times is she actioning hack and slash? And you can see already. So that's Cleave getting off there with the 2 4,000s, and that's hack and slash, 11,000 damage done by that time. And that's what you're going to want to be seeing from El Cid. And then again, third time in a row, we've got Song of El Cid and Sword of Faith. As I said, this is why it's so consistent. No hack and slash from Avalanche that time. But like I say, this is a best case scenario. And if you look at this second skill activating Sword of Faith, and even then when we see Trial of Light later on as well, So fourth time in a row. I'm just still not seeing, you know, it's doing about 4,600 damage at this point. I would expect it to be doing a little bit more. Hack and Slash is going to get off again. There we go, 19,000 kills. And that's where you see this high level of kills. Trial of Light has only actioned now once on turn 5. So Trial of Light, from what I've seen, it doesn't action that often, and you're not seeing this huge amount of damage where it should be 2 times 500 damage to 2 of your opponent's squads. So that should be a significant amount of damage. I really wish we could get rid of dragons on the battle video. So here we go. El Cid's going again. All 3. So you can see only 2,900 damage to that back row there. And then another 2,900 and 2,700 to the middle row. I just think if he was doing more damage in terms of the damage boosts that you see, for instance, from what Avalanche has, then I think he would be absolutely OP, because against a lot of combos he would be doing so much damage and healing at the same time. It would just swing the battles so much. So we're already into the 7th round, and he's doing actioning Trial of Light again for the 8th round. And this opponent's back row has taken so much damage from Avalanche's 2 skills, Cleave and Hack and Slash, and Avalanche is going to action another Hack and Slash now in turn 8 as well. Front row has also dropped, so no Lawman in turn 8 for the opponent. And there we go, one more Cleave and Hack and Slash for the road. So that was a significant victory there. So how can you counter El Cid? It's pretty simple. Being a healing hero, you just pop in Warhammer. I've really struggled against Hellfire Warhammer Ava or Lawman Hellfire Warhammer combos. Yeah, just Warhammer obviously negating El Cid's healing in the second half of the battle, and the fact that he's not doing a lot of damage with his skill 2 and skill 5 either. I think I only won once against a Warhammer combo with El Cid, so he just gets completely shut down by Warhammer. Otherwise, I have to say, I do think he's pretty consistent against other cavalry combinations and also archer combos. I've seen, I haven't had too much issues with those. You know, my tech is not top level tech. I'm not running the top level. You know, I don't have that many spec points compared to a lot of the top spenders. So there's a bit of a disparity there. But I've been playing against multiple people in the last few days, and yeah, I mean, what are my kind of final thoughts on El Cid? I think he had the ability to be absolutely OP. I really do. If he was dealing more kind of from what we talk about, you know, these extra elements of damage, if his skill 6 did damage, if one of these extra skills was giving him constantly extra damage, and just his 500% damage rates just don't do enough. You're not going to see him doing 100,000 kills. It's just not going to happen. I haven't seen him. I think I've only seen him do 80,000 is the most, 83,000. So and then you're relying on him triggering your opponent as well. And of course, if you do end up, if you all do get CC'd, silenced or suppressed, which a lot of heroes are doing now, you know, look at Scarlet Reaver for instance, then you are potentially gonna struggle with this combo. So for me, I'm gonna say that and also you have to pair him with heroes that do prep, so he's not that versatile. So for me, I think I'm gonna rate him a 3. I would rate him a 4 if he's not against Warhammer. So 4 if he's not up against a Warhammer, 3 if he is. and I actually think he's probably one of the better SX12 heroes as well. But there you go, guys. That is my thoughts on El Cid. Quite a long video, but I wanted to do as in-depth a review as I could for you. If you have any comments, how are you getting on with El Cid? Have you seen him in action? Please do obviously add your comments in the comment section down below. Always good to hear other people's experiences with heroes, or maybe I've missed something in the review. And of course, if you please share this video and my channel in your lunch chat, or chat through Line, WhatsApp, Viber, Discord, whatever you use to communicate with your fellow players in the game, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.